Hello beautiful people, Nosipho, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm on here with my bare face and in my jammies to bring you guys my eyebrow tutorial. So since I've been on YouTube, I realized that I don't have a standalone eyebrow tutorial. I do have my benefit goof proof versus browsings video, which is a very long video for you to eventually get to like a brow tutorial at the end. And the way that I've done my brows over time has changed to what you guys see now, so I thought I should do an official eyebrow tutorial to show you guys how I do my brows. And it is 9:30 at night, so that's why I don't have any other makeup on, and I hope that my bare face doesn't scare you guys too much. I hope you don't run away screaming in fear because you're like, oh my gosh, her face, oh my gosh, her skin. I hope you guys do look past that and just see how I do my brows and that you enjoy the video. I at least tried to put on a bit of rouge, lipstick. I'm sorry. Just to make myself look a little bit more presentable, so I hope you guys can see that. But anyway, enjoy the video, and I love you guys so much, and thank you for clicking play on my video, and I'll see you in the next one, and God ever stay blessing you. I'm gonna take my spoolie and I'm gonna brush my brow hairs upwards just so that I can create an outline at the bottom end of my brow to show me where my brow is going to end at the bottom. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the top, just outline where I want my brows to end, or rather I'm just making the general outline of how I want my brows to look. So I think this might be worth a mention. There's a golden rule of how you're supposed to fill in your brows to suit your face. So basically you take your pencil or whatever marking tool you're going to be using, and then you align that with the bridge of your nose, and where the pencil ends or touches, that is where your brows should begin. So that would mean my brows should begin over there where the pencil mark is. Then you align the pencil with the end of your nose, the tip of your nose, and then you basically pass that through your iris or the black of your eye or brown of your eye, whatever color your eyes are, and then where that lands is where the arc of your brow should be. So for me that would be there, and then you move from the edge of your nose to the end of your eye, and where that pencil mark would be is where the end of your brow tail should end, or rather where your brow tail should end. So those 3 points would give you the guideline for the perfect brow for your face shape. I don't really use the golden rule anymore because I'm just so used to filling in my brows, but if you're a beginner, that might be a useful tip to use to help guide you to create a good brow shape for your face. So now that I am done outlining, I'm going to start filling in, and I fill in from the tip going towards the front of my brow, and I love having my brows darker towards the end and lighter towards the front because that eliminates the boxy effect. And as I fill in my brows, I just brush through with the spoolie just to make sure that the product is distributed evenly, so that I can see where I need to continue filling and where it's already been filled enough. So if you have sparser brows than mine, you would typically create hair-like strokes. So just in general, if you want more natural looking brows, you're going to just slightly go over your brow hairs or just slightly fill in your brows to create hair-like strokes so that you don't have a harsh looking brow. But I counteract the harshness with the step that I do at the end, which you guys will see. So I don't mind filling my brows in darker towards the end and then just feathering them out in the front. I always use my fingers to help me clean up and fix up my brows where I feel like I've overdrawn, because it just works so easily. And yeah, that's why I always do my brows before I do my foundation, because I'd obviously not be able to do that if I had my foundation on at the time. So now that I'm happy with how my brows have filled out, I'm going to take my Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, and this is in the color Rich Ginger, and I'm going to use that to carve out my brows at the bottom and also towards the tail end of my brow, because I like using a color that's closer to my skin tone at the top, or my actual foundation at the top of my brows towards the front end, because I find that that's so much easier to blend than a thicker, lighter product, and that if it's not blended properly then it just looks bad and it's hard to fix and then you have to start again. So I just like using a normal colored brow product at the top, and also the lifted effect that a lighter concealer gives you or a lighter foundation gives you serves a purpose at the bottom, but I don't see the need for you to lift your brows from the top. So I just use the highlighting effect at the highlighting method at the bottom, and then just a normal foundation color at the top. You're going to try to get as close to your brows as you possibly can without ruining them, to carve them out. And you don't have to worry about how light it looks, typically because you would follow this with eyeshadow and all of that. But if you're not going to be using eyeshadow, then again it would be wiser to use a color that's closer to your skin tone, so clean up at the bottom as well. Then I'm going to take my Studio Fix fluid in the color NC50, which is my normal foundation shade, just a little bit to clean up the front part of my brow, and you guys are going to see what I mean about how it's a lot easier to blend in and you can still achieve the cleaned up effect without using a color that's way too light for your skin. So I'm going to angle my brush downwards. Oops. I'm going to angle my brush downwards so that I can get as close as I possibly can to my brow without messing it up. So as you can see, I've managed to clean up the brow, and you can actually see that it's a lot more chiseled out, even with a darker shade or my foundation shade. So my brows are not the same like in the very front part. One is thicker than the other, well that's what I think, but I don't bother myself too much about that because it's just something I can never fix, so I've learned to accept that. So the last step is I take my brow gel and then I use that to bring my brow hairs forward so that they're accentuated and it gives my brow a more natural look. Okay, so this is my finished brow routine. This is what my brows look like at the end of that whole process. So you guys can see, not too dramatic, not too over the top, just natural, well filled in brows, and that's how I like it. So obviously you can still see the white cast from the lighter shade of foundation, but all of that would be sorted with eyeshadows and all of that stuff, and my foundation over the rest of my face. I hope you guys found the video helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that this helps you get your brows on fleek. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.